While she was being taken, she was hit by sticks. There are a huge network of tunnels underneath. It looks like a spider web.
One of the released hostages through her daughter, speaking about what she saw. Joining us now, Aaron Cohen. He's a former member of Israel's Special Operations Counterterrorism Unit, founder of Cherries, a leading manufacturer of law enforcement products for terrorism readiness. Aaron, thanks for joining us. You know, how important do you think some of the testimony and I guess the debrief that these released hostages will give the IDF and others is for what they see on the ground?
Well, any bit of information that we can glean is critical, especially when it comes to hostage rescue. You know, for every second we waste, we say another innocent person is killed. So before even looking at this incursion right now, the fact that we can buy time and the fact that we can speak to people who've been released allows our command to be able to extrapolate every little detail. We want to know about these tunnels. We want to know about the buildings. Obviously, it's going to be asymmetrical. It's going to be urban warfare. But really what we want to know is we're looking at multiple targets that Israel's going to have to hit here between Seyret, Matkal, our General Staff Reconnaissance Unit, our Yamam, the Yechida Miuchedet Mishtartit, which is our national police Tier 1 hostage rescue asset. So we want to know every building, every tunnel, every entrance, every structure, who's standing outside, who's standing inside, where they're standing in the room. All of those elements will come together to be able to actualize really positive affected operations. We want to know everything.
Yeah, so you believe this scoop, that this is Axios saying Israel willing to delay Gaza invasion to discuss large release of hostages, saying that their military launches a ground invasion. A deal for hostages will be nearly impossible if that happens right away. Israeli officials acknowledge it's likely that some hostages have been killed in airstrikes that have targeted Hamas positions, but they are willing to try to get as many hostages out. You buy that thought process?
I don't. I don't think Hamas, well, no, I do. I don't think that Hamas is going to really negotiate. I don't think that's their intention. If you look at the charter, it's pretty public. Their goal is from the river to the sea. We've seen the atrocities committed on October 7th here. It was a bloodbath. And at this point right now, again, back to the hostages. Obviously, it's our first priority, Brett. The incursion is almost ancillary at this point right now. We've got all of our troops down there. We've got Golani Brigade, we've got the Givati Brigade, we've got several 100,000 reservists. We've got that place surrounded. We can turn it into a pressure cooker. Israel's got a lot of experience in Gaza. It's not our first time being in there. The hostages, number one. I believe that we're going to try and, again, slow this thing down. When it is time to go in there for that incursion, we can take our time. We can work slow and deliberately, which is what we call it. Srika mi zira, like we say in Hebrew, which is slow and deliberate clears. When there's no hostages, we can take our time. We can put our tanks in. We can get those air units in. We can get our Air Force Special Operations assets, guiding those missiles and doing those strategic strikes that we've been seeing, hundreds of them a day for the last 2 weeks. Really, though, again, the focus is with the hostages. I don't believe that Hamas is negotiating whatever nonsense they're showing right now in good faith. It's just to buy time. It's allowing us to really just figure out exactly where we need to put these.
Knowing over years what this enemy looks like, Hamas, Hezbollah, do you have any doubt that they may be trying or have tried or successfully got through our southern border here in the U.S.? We are officials warning about that now publicly along the southern border. There are 23,000 known gotaways in just the past 30 days. Knowing what you know, do you think that's possible?
Well, I can tell you this. Since my service in the IDF, I've been working in law enforcement for 25 years, training SWAT teams in the Israeli method, limited penetration for entry, for counterterrorism. It's no secret that the southern border is porous. It's no secret that every law enforcement agency in every major city is on TAC alert right now. And while it's not being discussed publicly, everybody is very concerned. It's not a big deal. It's not tough to get into that southern border. Venezuela passports, there's all kinds of things I'm hearing right now. And I think U.S. national law enforcement on the macro level needs to have a hard look at their capabilities, because we're not going to be talking about Columbine 1 or 2 shooters here. I definitely think that there's a risk, and I think that the entire system needs to be looked at honestly and tightened so that those responders have the training that they need and the tools to be able to deal with this if it floods over.
Aaron Cohen, scary.